Hey guys, it's good to see you today. I'm glad that we can be together on this Saturday morning. It is time for story time with Mr. Adam. And again, as we did last week, we're going to continue doing where in Pew Packers we looked this week at the book of Exodus. A lot of exciting things take place in the book of Exodus. You know that God was looking down and he delivered his people out of Egyptian captivity. They were slaves in the land of Egypt, and God recognized that they were in trouble, and he reached out to help them. And he sent Moses and his brother Aaron, and as you know, they helped lead the people out of Egypt and on their way to the promised land. And so I have two books this morning that I would like to read about the book of Exodus. And the first one, I think, is a really exciting one that kind of sums up a lot of things that happened in the book of Exodus, and it's simply called The Great Escape. So think about it that way, all right? The Great Escape, God's people leaving the land of Egypt. How did God do it? Well, that's what this book says. Passover time is here again, the skipping children sing. Unleavened bread with roasted lamb to our table bring. The youngest children ask, but why is dinner strange tonight? Their father says, it tells us of the story of our flight. Long ago, when Moses was grazing his flock one day, he saw a bush burst into flame and heard a strange voice say, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob too. The promise I once gave to them, I surely will bring true. The sadness of my children down in Egypt saddens me. I'll show you how to help me make my people free. Moses went to Egypt, and there in blistering sun, he watched his people making brick. Their work was never done. He found his brother Aaron and told him of God's plan. Please go to Pharaoh with me. You are a bolder man. Inside the mighty palace before the golden throne, they bowed down low to Pharaoh and made God's wishes known. Pharaoh listened to them, dismissed them with a nod. Why should I free the Hebrews? I do not know your God. He felt so cross he made his slaves work twice as hard and long. I am the ruler here, he cried. The Hebrew God is wrong. God sent plagues to Pharaoh's land. All water turned blood red. 1,000,000 frogs hopped all around. At last the Pharaoh said, Tell your God to end these plagues. I'll let your people go. But when the ugly frogs had disappeared, he changed his mind again. God sent flies and other bugs, and families got sick. But after every plague, the king soon tried his same old trick. He made all sorts of promises the Hebrew people heard, but when things started to go well, he broke his promised word. At last, God had enough. He said to Moses, Listen, tonight when darkness fills the skies and stars begin to glisten, I will send my angel, Death, to take Egyptian sons. If Hebrew doors are marked, he'll know your homes are not the ones. Then God told Moses what to do. They all prepared a feast. They killed their firstborn lambs and used some blood from every beast to mark their doorways as a sign for death to pass them by. They mixed their dough without the yeast, though children wondered why. Late in the night, Egyptians rose and wept. Death made them sad. When Pharaoh's servants wakened him, he cried, This news is bad. He summoned Moses, Aaron too, and muttered, Go, I say! Tell your people they must leave. Please take them far away. In haste, the Hebrews packed their tents, their bowls with dough for bread. There was no time to raise it then. They'd eat flatbread instead. Small children stumbled sleepy-eyed. Their parents tried to hurry. The Pharaoh still might change his mind. This was the constant worry. They started for the promised land. The Lord knew every need. His flame would light the way each night, and by day his cloud would lead. They camped nearby the sea named Red. At night somebody shouted, See! The Pharaoh's chariots have come! Oh, hurry! We must flee! God's cloud made all the sky pitch black. It filled the way between the Hebrews and the army, so no people could be seen. God made a wind push back the waves. It left a bridge of sand. The Hebrews hurried over it, their freedom close at hand. Pharaoh's army quick gave chase, but with a roaring sound, the walls of water covered them, and many men were drowned. With beating hearts, the Hebrews sang a prayer of victory. They praised the Lord for saving them. They shouted, "We are free." And that is a little story about the Great Escape. If you want more details, then just go to the Bible and open it up and start reading the book of Exodus, and you'll quickly learn more about the Great Escape. Now, to follow that up, I have a little bit shorter book called Moses and the Long Walk. Now, Moses was leading them out of Egypt, but where were they going? Well, they were going to the Promised Land, weren't they? How long was it going to take to get there? Well, it shouldn't have taken very long, but it took a long time. Let's see what this book says. Moses and the Long Walk. Now Moses was a special man, for he was picked by God to lead his people Israel onto the promised sod. The Promised Land, Canaan by name, was very far away. God showed the way with fire at night and with a cloud by day. They lived in tents along the way. They left their homes behind in Egypt, where they'd worked as slaves for masters so unkind. It was a very long trip across the barren lands. The people oftentimes forgot that they were in God's hands. The people griped and fussed and crabbed at Moses, and they said, "Why'd you lead us out of Egypt? 'Cause now we'll soon be dead. We have no food that we can eat, and not a drop to drink." But Moses told them, God will help, no matter what you think. At night, God sent some quail as food, which was their meat to eat. And in the morning, bread appeared to make their meal complete. God gave them water when they asked. It came in special ways. Once, when Moses struck a rock, the water poured out for days. Their enemies sometimes attacked, and then there was a fight. But God told Moses, I will help, so they will know my might. It was here in the wilderness God gave his 10 commands to Moses high up on a hill above the desert lands. While Moses was up on the mount, the people got so bold, they made a calf and worshipped it, an idol made of gold. So sad, isn't it? They sinned against the Lord their God, and Moses told them so. You must repent for what you've done. And they were full of woe. Then Moses talked to God in prayer. Forgive them, was his plea, and God forgave his people then, as he does you and me. It took them 40 years in all to reach the Promised Land. The Lord stayed with them all the way and blessed them with his hand. They were the children that he loved, just as he loves us too. He guided and protected them just as he cares for you. God led his people to a place where he knew they'd be free. He'll lead us to our home in heaven, salvation, victory. God was with his people all along the way. All of this walk that they were taking, God never left them, and he continued to take care of them. Did you know that in 40 years, their shoes didn't even wear out? Isn't that amazing what God can do? Well, that's the same God that looks down and takes care of you and me. And we need to trust him, and we need to love him, and we need to obey him and do what he wants us to do so that one day we can go to heaven too and be with him. I hope you have a great day. I want you to think about how good God is and all the many ways that he continues to take care of you. And I hope that will motivate you today to do your very best to be good for him. I love you guys. You be good, and I'll see you, Lord willing, next time. All right? Bye-bye.